It started with an old mirror, not the kind you'd find in a store, polished and perfect, but the kind that felt wrong to look at. This one was found in the attic of an abandoned estate, a house untouched for nearly 50 years. Dust covered everything, but the mirror was spotless. Its frame was carved with strange patterns, symbols no one recognized. When David, a young historian, pulled the dust sheet off, he froze, because staring back at him was himself, but not exactly. His reflection was just a second too slow, and when it finally smiled, David realized he wasn't smiling. That night, he brought the mirror home. He told himself it was just an antique, a piece of history, something he could study. But as he leaned the mirror against the wall, he noticed something strange. The reflection of his room wasn't right. His books were stacked differently. The clock ticked at the wrong time. And worse, seemed. Standing in the corner of the reflection, even though his room was empty. David blinked, rubbed his eyes, and looked again. The corner was empty. The figure was gone. Over the next few days, things escalated. When David entered his room, the mirror sometimes showed it already occupied, a shadow passing by, a chair rocking slightly. And then, one night, it showed him not just a reflection, but another David. This one was sitting on the bed, face pale, eyes hollow, staring directly into the mirror. David stepped closer, heart pounding. The reflection leaned forward too, but whispered, "You shouldn't have found me." Terrified, David stumbled back. But the mirror wasn't just showing reflections anymore. It was showing memories. Not his memories, not his world's memories. The night after, he saw the reflection of his street, but burned, destroyed, corpses lining the sidewalk. The same houses, but bombed out as if a war had ripped through. He saw people he recognized, neighbors, friends, screaming, running, bleeding. And then he saw himself, standing there watching the chaos, smiling. David couldn't look away. Every night, the mirror revealed more, an alternate history, a world where events had gone differently, where wars ended with destruction, where people he loved were monsters, where he himself was something else entirely. But soon, the memories weren't staying in the mirror. He woke up one morning to find his books arranged exactly as they were in the reflection, his clock ticking at the wrong time. And when he went outside, a neighbor greeted him with a smile he swore he'd only seen in the mirror world. He tried to cover the mirror, to hide it. But every time he came back to his room, the cover was gone. One night, he saw something that broke him. The mirror showed his own bedroom just as it was, but on the bed was him, lying still, eyes wide open, dead, and behind him in the reflection stood his mirror self, breathing, watching, waiting. From that moment, David couldn't sleep. He began to notice differences in himself. His reflection sometimes moved before he did, sometimes it mouthed words he hadn't spoken. And one night, it knocked from the inside, a soft tap, then another. David froze, staring at the glass. His reflection grinned, lips curling unnaturally wide. "It's my turn now," it whispered. The next day, David smashed the mirror. Glass shattered across the floor. He fell to his knees, panting, relieved. But then he looked down. Every shard reflected something different. One showed his room in flames. Another showed his own corpse rotting. Another showed his family crying over his grave. And in every shard, his reflection smiled. David tried to throw the shards away. He buried them in the ground, miles from his home. But when he returned, the mirror was there, whole, standing against his wall, waiting. And this time, there were fingerprints on the inside of the glass. No one knows what became of David. His neighbors say he disappeared one night. Others claim they saw him standing at his window, eyes empty, smiling faintly. The mirror, still in his room. If you stand in front of it long enough, it doesn't just show your reflection, it shows what you should have been, what you could have been, and what you're destined to become. The mirror that remembers. Sometimes it doesn't just reflect, sometimes it remembers a world where you were never meant to survive.